Good day. And I'm not saying which day because that would be stupid, and I learn from my lessons in only 1, 2, 3, sometimes 5 or 6 attempts. So that's not the sign of stupidity right there. You can be sure of that. So today we're going to be looking at vocabulary. Now yesterday we did grammar, and I'm sure that none of you just said, oh, he's teaching grammar, all I have to do is work through a worksheet, so I'll just go back to bed. I'm sure nobody did that, and I hope you didn't, because there are many reasons why I hope you didn't. Number one, you really do need this. You need to go through this stuff so that you make sure you're ready. Secondly, if you did go through the worksheet by now, you're one of those people thinking, this is easy, I've got this. It's not hard, it's not hard. Read through that worksheet and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised at just how little advanced stuff there is in this test. I think you're going to be gratified. And thirdly, we are trying to build you into the person you are going to be in the future. And that means that you're constructing a basis now, a framework for who you are going to grow into. And if you're the kind of person that can be given an assignment or a job and then just ignore it and go away, that's the kind of person you're going to be, and you're creating a future of failure for yourself, because things are going to be much more competitive in the future. And let's have a look at America, for example. Spiraling unemployment. Unemployment to such a degree that when the figures got posted by Biden's administration, journalists were phoning them up and saying, we've got the wrong numbers, these can't be correct. That's how bad America is. Now think about that. What chance of the average American's got of getting a job when those kind of figures are out? 90% unemployment they're heading towards. Can you imagine that? It's going to be a very competitive job market. Having said that, there was a guy on Twitter the other day and he literally couldn't understand a sentence that I wouldn't have had to repeat to any person in one of my classes. That's quite scary. So that's America for you. Now today we're going to be looking at vocabulary. Now vocabulary is even less interesting than grammar. Unfortunately, it is an essential part of your development. Being in command of a solid, comprehensive vocabulary will set you apart from other people in the job market. Somebody who has an inquiring, expansive mind usually has an expansive vocabulary. They can use a lot of words correctly in the right way, usually without stopping and thinking about it. They can roll them off because they are in full command of their faculties. They have a seasoned reasoning capacity and a strong intellect. Those people stand out clearly, and one of the markers of that is a strong vocabulary. So we're all going to look at vocabulary. Now in the exam, I haven't chosen the words for the vocabulary section. For some reason James is cleaning the floor and I have no idea why, because no one's asked him to, and we're outside, but it is what it is. So today we're going to look at vocabulary, and we're going to try and sort of kick you up a notch. Now all of these words are from the book. They are all suitable for your grade. I actually think maybe we should have aimed a little higher, to be honest. I don't think it's going to be challenging enough for some of you. For some of you, definitely. I'd like to have raised the bar just a little bit. So I was wondering how to teach vocabulary when we've already learned it. Now I went through all the boring ways, where I literally give you a page of text and you just find synonyms and antonyms of it, or I can't do a word search because that's really not a good way to learn it. I know that everyone will just sit there and just find the words and won't look them up. So instead, I went with a crossword. Now I know some of you are groaning at the mention of the word crossword, but a crossword is a better way of doing it. So what I've done is I found a website, CrossLabs, where I've been able to make an interactive crossword for you custom. So I've used the words in the test and I've mixed it up with a few other words, but I think all the words you need are there, and I've used some of the words from some of the questions, mixed it all up a bit, so that you've got a solid grounding of most of what you're going to need. So if you can get through this crossword puzzle, you've got a solid basis of the words you're going to need for this test. Okay? So go through the crossword puzzle. All you need to do is follow the link. Now the link is in Google Classroom in the same assignment as this. Follow the link. Now I don't know if it's going to work on a phone. I mean, it will work on a phone, but I don't know how well. So if you look on it, you'll see a grid of the crossword puzzle, and you'll see all of the the questions. So you can scroll through the menus. Now when you click on the crossword answers, you'll be able to input answers. It'll tell you if you're right or wrong. And you'll be able to work out the crossword puzzle from that. I recommend you do it on a laptop or a tablet. I really don't think it's going to work very well on a phone. Now, I encourage you to open another tab and get onto dictionary.com. Sometimes I've given you clues that are synonyms. Sometimes I've hinted at other things as well. So you feel free to go off and look these answers up. I don't want to be asked too many questions about how to solve these puzzles. I want you to do it for yourself. I'm going to leave you to it. I'm not going to answer any questions until 10 minutes before the end. I'm going to leave you to your own devices. I want you to go off and I want you to do your research and I want you to find out for yourself. Now, I know some of you are going to be in contact with each other, and I uphold that. I actually think that's a fantastic idea, because you're going to be challenging each other, you're going to be searching for answers together, and once you have those answers, you will remember this word. Okay, that's what I want for you. So if you want to work together, get in touch with each other. I support it. I'm absolutely for it. So long as you're actually doing your work, so long as you're not one of those people, and there's a couple of people in my head right now as I say this, who just waits for everyone else to give them the answers, because remember, you are building yourself. If you're going to be that person, I'm not going to hire you. I'm going to be able to tell who you are at the interview. You're not even going to get into the door. I'm not going to waste my time. I had an interview once, and now I'm going off on one of my wild tangents. I got this guy in, asked him a couple of questions. He couldn't even answer them. You know, I said to him, give me an example of a time where you were asked a difficult question at work. And he went, don't know. Oh, okay, great. Great, you're hired. Obviously, that's not what happened. I threw him out. You know, I mean, normally now, today, I mean, this was, Christ, 25 years ago? Maybe 20 years ago. I would have given him the time of day, let him in. Now, I wouldn't even bother. Now, I'd look at him in the office and go, no, I'm sorry, mate, we're going to have to get you another time. There's just no point you coming in. And I agree with phone interviews. We would have flushed him out in the phone interview stage, got rid of him. There's just no point in him coming to the interview. People like that, starve them out. So don't be that kind of person. Don't be one of the ones that just sits there and waits for someone else to do the answers. I'm not marking this. I'm not checking this. This is done purely for you, okay? Now, if you don't do it, you're going to fail the exam. It's as simple as that. You're not going to pass the test. And there's always going to be a few that I can't help, where we go through it and we go through all the answers, and then there's that person who gets 10%. And I always get the emails from them, oh, you know, is there anything you can do to help me? No. This is me helping you right now. This is me making this as easy as I can for you and trying to reach out and give you every chance to pass this test. I'm not talking to most of you. I am not talking to the 99%. I'm talking to that one or two idiots who just expect the world to be given to them on a plate. Isn't how the world works. The rest of you, I'm sorry to have to go on about this. So I'm happy for you guys to work together. I'm happy for you to do whatever you think you have to do to solve these crossword puzzles. I'll come in 10 minutes before the end, and I'll wait for any of you that have any questions or comments. I think most of them are pretty straightforward, and they are words from the book, so hopefully you've got notes and you'll be able to look them up. So I'm going to shut up before I go off another wild tangent and tell you stories about all sorts of nonsense you don't care about, and we'll let you get on with it. So okay guys, I'll see you in a bit.